A One Piece game where you can create your own character, create or join your own crew, and explore and fight on the seas of the One Piece world. That would be the perfect One Piece game for me. What's good, YouTube? Red Ronnie here, and today I'm going to talk about creating, customizing, and selling ships in my dream One Piece game. Okay, for starters, sorry it's been so long. I didn't realize I would actually get a lot of attention on this. Okay, well, it's not that much of attention for YouTube, but this is pretty crazy good for me. So for my few new subscribers I've gotten, I'm going to try my hardest to be consistent with this. Now, ships in One Piece are very cool. They tell you a lot about the pirate crew and what they represent. In this game of mine, a player will be able to completely customize their ship's exterior and interior and sail their ship across the entire map. So without further ado, let's discuss ships and selling in the perfect One Piece game. Okay, so first off, you may be wondering what would be the types of ships one could sail in this game. Well, that's easy. There will be multiple types of ships varying in size and number of players that can be seated on the ship. So let's go through each of the types of ships that will be in this game, starting with basic rafts. Rafts would probably be pirate players' first ships they use. You can only have 3 players on them at the most, otherwise it would sink. It has the slowest travel speed, and it will be the weakest ship in terms of durability. Next are individual boats. These are usually smaller extra ships on bigger ships that crew members can use on individual escapades. So these will consist of like 1 to 4 players. Think of it like Mihawk's ships or Ace's boat, or like the Mini Mary too. Like the speed would vary, but they are always faster than rafts. But again, they're just individual boats. Next are sailboats. So sailboats will be able to seat 4 players, and they will be able to hold storage or inventory, so you can put like your weapons and clothing on there. Moving on to caravels. So a caravel is basically what the Going Merry is. It will be able to suit up to 10 players, and it will actually have rooms on the ship. So you will have a kitchen where crew chefs can cook, an infirmary where doctors can create their medicine, and a bedroom where players can rest their characters while being offline. The next ship is the bridge sloop. I think I pronounced that right. That's basically what the Thousand Sunny would be. It can seat up to 20 players. It has all the previous rooms that the caravel has, except it also has an armory where you can put your weapons and gears at. It will have entertainment areas, and it will also hold smaller individual boats, like I said, the individual boats from before. Next are submarines. So obviously submarines can dive in the water. They will be able to see up to 10 players. It has the highest defense of all the boats, and it will be able to shoot torpedoes. And finally, the biggest ship of them all, the Ark. Now, in terms of this game, the Ark would be something similar to that of like the Moby Dick Whitebeard ship, instead of like the actual Noah from the series, just because like that's insanely huge, and the Moby Dick is kind of like an Ark. It's pretty big too. And this will be able to seat up to 50 players, and it will probably be the second most durable ship, but you know, submarines have to be very durable because they're on the water. I can see most Emperor players having this kind of ship. Now, before we talk about actually selling those ships, we gotta talk about how you would get a ship in this game. So there will be 2 different ways to obtain a ship in the game. The first one would be to go buy one from a shipwright yard. Almost every island in the game will have a shipwright yard like Galileo from Water 7. Now, of course, there's not really a shipwright yard at every island in the One Piece, but for video game purposes, it works. The ships will be priced based on the size of the ship, with rafts being free and arcs being the most expensive in the game. The other way to get a ship is to have a crew shipwright build one for you. So basically, crew shipwrights will have the ability to build ships for the crew. They will need to gather the necessary materials for the ship they want to build. And not only that, but they also will have to have a high enough skill level to build bigger ships. So you couldn't just be a rookie shipwright and get the materials for a caravel and build it. You would need to level up and eventually unlock the ability to build it. Also, building the ship would take time. Depending on the size of the shipwright would be stuck in building mode and would be vulnerable for an enemy attack. So it would be wise for a crew to watch the shipwright as they build. Now let's get into selling. So I'm going to be honest, I haven't played many games that focus on selling or traveling by sea, but I hear a lot about Sea of Thieves. So I decided to watch a video of a guy just selling, and I was just like, yeah, this is pretty much what I want. So yeah, the selling would be like Sea of Thieves, except like bigger ships and more people on the ship sometimes. Now before we move on, I also want to talk about the coup de burst. I think it could work in this game, but maybe not how you think. So because this is a game and it's pretty wishful thinking already to want one huge map, coup burst would basically be like something a ship could do every 12 hours or so. And the controller of the ship would pick a sector of the sea at a certain distance, and then once they choose where they want to go, it would be like a quick travel animation of the ship flying throughout the air. Again, you wouldn't be able to scale the entire map, but let's say you were getting chased by enemies and you did a coup burst. It would probably take you about 2 whole island lengths away from where you were. And finally, naval combat. So in this game, players would be able to have battles over the sea using their ships. Ships, caravels, and above will have cannons built into the side of the ship, and players will be able to man those cannons to shoot at other ships nearby. All ships will have their own health bar, and depending on what type of ship it is determines the durability. Once the health bar completely depletes, the entire ship will just break down no matter where you are. Ships also would deteriorate over time on their own, so it would be wise to have a shipwright on your crew to always be there to make repairs. If players wouldn't want to fight overseas using cannons, they could always just pull up closer to the enemy ship and battle them on their ship. And that's how ships and sailing will work in this game. Join me next time as I talk about fighting styles in the next video. And I promise I'm being for real this time. The video will be here a lot sooner, and I promise it will actually be about the fighting styles. I just had to figure out a way to make the video more quicker and everything in order to try to be more consistent. So next video will be fighting styles. Catch you next time.